You might be wondering how to remember so many definitions, theories, and forms of marriage for UPSC and where to begin. By the end of this video, you will be completely clear about the social institution of marriage and how to answer exam questions on it. We will start with what marriage does in society, move to classic definitions and origin theories, then to rules and forms, and finally, a key exam insight most aspirants miss. Think of marriage as a public framework that links individuals into stable social units, like the frame that holds a house together. Marriage regulates sexual relations, organizes reproduction, legitimizes children, clarifies inheritance, and creates the primary unit for raising the next generation. In practical terms, marriage produces social continuity by assigning responsibilities for care and socialization across generations. Let's look at concise definitions so you can quote them in answers with confidence. Horton and Hunt define marriage as the approved social pattern for two or more persons to form a family. A short and exam-friendly line. Westermark describes marriage as a somewhat permanent connection between a man and a woman extending beyond reproduction and after offspring are born. Malinowski treats marriage as a contract for producing and maintaining children, focusing on its practical and economic role. These three lines give you different angles: social pattern, lasting bond, and contractual function. Use them to enrich definitions in answers. Now the origin theories. Remember that these are contested, so present them as competing explanations, not facts. Lewis H. Morgan offered an evolutionary sequence from promiscuity to group marriage, then polygamy, and finally monogamy. Westermark argued the opposite, suggesting monogamy as an original form driven by natural possessiveness and pair bonds. Robert Briffault challenged patriarchal sequences by arguing for matrifocal or matrilineal early relations where mothers held primary authority. The key takeaway is that different societies follow different paths, so emphasize variation and contestation in your answer. Next, rules that govern who can marry whom, a vital part of any UPSC answer on marriage. Endogamy requires marriage within a defined social group like caste, religion, tribe, or class, preserving group identity and property. Exogamy requires marrying outside a specified group to build alliances and widen social networks and often prevents in-group kin unions. The incest taboo forbids sexual relations among primary kin, and it appears across virtually every society for social and biological reasons. Give an Indian example. Gotra rules and Sapinda restrictions illustrate how exogamy and the incest taboo operate in practice in many Hindu communities. Why do these rules matter for society and for exams? They draw social boundaries, organize kinship, preserve resources, and create predictable patterns you can analyze in answers or case studies. Now, forms of marriage. Start with monogamy because it's the predominant modern form. Monogamy allows one spouse at a time and appears as serial monogamy in cases of remarriage or a strict lifelong monogamy in other contexts. Polygamy covers marriages with multiple spouses, with polygyny, one man with many wives being the most common globally. Polyandry, one woman with multiple husbands, is rare but important to explain, especially fraternal polyandry where brothers share a wife. Anthropologists explain polyandry using ecological and economic pressures such as land scarcity and the need to avoid fragmenting property. Mixed systems and terms like sororal polygyny or fraternal polyandry show that many societies blend forms or prefer specific sibling-based arrangements. Preferential marriages like levirate and sororate are practical solutions to social security and alliance continuity after a spouse dies. Levirate obliges a widow to marry her deceased husband's brother or close male relative to keep property and support in the extended family. Sororate matches a widower to his deceased wife's sister to maintain alliance and household continuity between families. Cross-cousin marriage and parallel cousin marriage are other culturally specific practices that manage property and alliance between households. In exam answers, link these forms to social functions, economic stability, alliance formation, inheritance, and demographic consequences. One short exam tip: always connect theory to an example. Cite the Widow Remarriage Act of 1856 for monogamy and remarriage in colonial India. And towards the end, we will understand a key idea that most UPSC aspirants miss. That key idea is to treat marriage as both an institution and a practice. An ideal set of rules plus lived variations that change with economy, law, and culture. So, when you answer a question, describe institutional rules, show how people actually practice marriage, and analyze why differences exist. A quick exam insight. Questions often ask for functions, compare forms, critique origins, or discuss regulation of partner choice. So plan answers accordingly. Sample 2 mark to 10 mark strategy. Define briefly, give 2 or 3 functions, cite one theory and one contemporary example, then conclude with a critical point. Let me recap the essentials so they stick in your mind. Marriage organizes sex and reproduction, legitimizes offspring, structures inheritance, and provides the primary setting for child socialization. Rules like endogamy and exogamy maintain identity or build alliances, while the incest taboo secures clear kin divisions and biological concerns. Forms range from monogamy to polygyny and polyandry, with special practices: levirate, sororate, cross, and parallel cousin marriage, shaping local norms. Theories on origins disagree, so present multiple perspectives and stress social, economic, and ecological explanations rather than a single story. You now have a clear structure for answers: definition, social functions, rules, forms, theories, example, and a critical conclusion. Keep practicing short scripts and one paragraph answers for each subtopic to build speed and clarity for the exam. You're doing well. Mastering marriage as a social institution will boost both your sociology understanding and your UPSC answer writing. If you want ready-made notes, examples, and practice questions, continue learning with EduRev, where lessons are tailored for UPSC clarity and recall. See you in the next lesson and bring a question you struggled with so we can unpack it together.